Hey everybody, we're going to start a new video today. I found this new piece of fabric. It's another Alexander Henry. It's Denim and Demons. That's the motif here. Thought it was cool and I wanted to pick out a couple pictures, but I had a couple different things I was working on. One with the picture frame and the other one with the hoops. I think right now for a start we're going to do the hoops because of how close to the edge we are. I need something smaller to work with, and I happen to find a couple things. So one thing we're going to do is get this thing where you can see it a little more, and I've got a 6-inch hoop which seemed to fit. I needed an 8-inch hoop for something else, but I didn't have an 8-inch. But I'll show you that. I wanted to do an 8-inch because of this picture right here. I thought that'd be a cool picture right there, but I want to get the flowers in there too. So if I get the flowers in there, then I can get the whole thing. But my 7-inch hoop doesn't quite make it. So the 8-inch hoop would have got the rest of the top there I wanted, plus the flowers. It'd make a nice hoop design. But since that wasn't working out right away without an 8-inch hoop, I decided to go with this smaller picture, which was down here and on the edge of my fabric too. So I can take this 6-incher and put it right there and get that skeleton head right there with the pistons and cut out the snake. I don't really want the snake, but because I can't get a whole snake in there, but just the edges would be good, just a little trim. And that right there would probably fit the hoop I want to do. So when we're doing these hoops, you know, we take the bottom out, we'll slip it underneath, try to find the picture that we're working at, and then take the top part out, fit it around, and make sure that picture is in where we want to be. Right now it's a little off center. I don't want the snake head in there because I can't get the whole snake, so we try to get his head out. But that right there is about as centered as I can get. I think it's a little off. Try it. I want to get that thumb clamp or thumb screw up there centered on his head. That's where the center is, where it'll hang from. And so I think that pretty much does it right there. It gives me a nice picture. So once I got this picture in here, I could just go ahead and tighten it down a bit to make sure it stays. Cinch it down. And then I used my rotary cutter and I'll just cut a circle around this thing to get it out of this main fabric. You notice I'm sticking right to the edge here so I don't waste other fabric. I could have taken this picture from a couple other spots, but it'd ruin other pictures. So this one, I decided not to waste. And I'll bring it up here and we'll just cut that little bit around. And once we cut that outside around there, that gives us our fabric that we can flip around the back side and fold. So now that I flip around the back side, I'll get all this out of our way. I got the back side flipped around. I want to put my glue in here. So last time I used a bottle of glue I've been hanging on to for a while and it kind of fought me a little bit. This time we're going to use a fresh bottle. Make sure it's open. So the glue we're using is the Fabri-Tac, which is the same as the Fabri-Fix. They're the same glues, just to change the name on them. But we're going to take that, take the end off. We're going to put a bead of glue all around the top of the wood there. Comes out nice and easy, a nice stream. When you got your fresh bottles, when you got your old bottles, it's thick and heavy and hard to come out. Still works, but a little bit more fight trying to apply it. Now we got that out, put the cap back on. You see I got that glue on the edge of the wood there, if you can see it. And from that point, we're just going to fold it over. So we just fold it over. Because it's a little wet, it is not sticking as readily as we would like it, but it is sticking. We just want to make sure, hold it for a couple seconds where it'll stick. It sticks fairly quickly. This keeps it in place so your picture doesn't move around anymore. All your excess is tucked inside there. You're not going to see it, or it won't get in your way because we glued it down. It'll be flat. We'll flip it back over. Now we got our picture centered up. I'll push it down straight a couple times to make sure it's where I want it to be and not causing us any issues. So from this point here, we're going to start putting on lace. I'm going to have to pick out some lace. I'll probably go with a black. I don't have a green or a gray that works, but the black I have should work pretty good. So let me get that out here. Okay, we're back with our stuff to put on our Denim Demons hoop. We've got our lace, and we got a little white flower there that we'll use to seal it up with. We'll do the top just like we did the bottom. It's going to be taking a little bit of glue around the wood edge, and then we'll start sticking the lace. So you can do this all at once, just go all the way around. Steady stream, keep it on the wood. It doesn't hurt if it touches the fabric, but we don't want to glue the fabric really. We're trying to glue the lace to the wood and leave the fabric alone. Alright, now that we've got the glue on there, let's see if you can see that. Then we'll start at the top where the thumb screw is. I like using the lace because it's got this little curve to it because it's rolled up and it just naturally curves and it works easily. But I will stop. We're going to overlap just a little bit at the top here. We'll get over at the top and overlap that thumb screw opening. And then start pushing the lace down on top of the wood where we put the glue, but we'll keep the lace right next to the fabric. We don't have to be on the fabric, we just have to be on the wood next to the fabric, and it'll cover up the wood. And as before, it sticks fairly quickly, so it's not like you have to sit there and hold it forever. Push it down, let it kind of grab a little bit, then you'll go back and set it in place. And work our way all the way around to overlap the starting point that you had. Since we started over the clamp, we want to end over the clamp also, just to give an overlap there. And I'm going around trying to push up everything up against the fabric so the wood doesn't show. And I'm going to cut off that excess where it overlaps, so I'll just get a little trimming right here, fit it back down, and if that's where I want it to be, then I'll put another piece of glue right there where the overlap is. Seal it down, and just make sure we got a nice fit. I'll flip it over, press it to get a nice even. Where I was pushing all my fingers before, I might have missed something, but I'll push it down on a solid surface and it will get even pressing all the way around. Now if you see at the top here, even though we got it nice and overlapped, it kind of looks good. At the very top you'll see a little seam where we put the two pieces together, and sometimes it kind of look a little not so pretty, and that's what I use these little flowers for. So I'll take a flower, stick it up there, and cover up that seam. That way I don't have to look at it. Put me some more glue there. Put it on the back side of the flower. There's a nice little glob there to stick it on. It is fabric glue, so the fabric glue works well for this since we're using all fabric. Okay. Clean up my tip a little bit and then put my cap back on the glue. And looks like we got it all done. Now the nice thing about this, if it works out right, the gap in the back there, that's where we're going to hang it from. A lot of times there might be a gap there that's big enough to put a push pin in. And so my push pins I normally stick in this hole right here. Sometimes it don't work out like that, but I like to do that. But even a nail, if you put a nail in the wall, this thing will hang right at that thumb screw. That's where it's a good hanging spot. And it'll be centered where you centered your picture, and it works out nice like that. But that is our finished product. We got a flower put in there at the seam, so it kind of hides that seam just a little bit, and it doesn't look so bad. And it's a little decoration showing where your top is. And we are finished with one of our hoop designs. All done. Thanks for watching.